Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry for taking a little break from doing videos. I just needed a lunch break for a bit. But I'm returning to you for part 3 for the best albums of 2021 video. I'm sorry, I kind of burped for a second. I'm just digesting my food a bit. It's kind of sick to think about, but yeah. I'm gonna discuss from 43 to whatever number I get to in this list, and let you know what I think of these next albums that I'm going to talk about on this part of 3 video. So let's dive into part 3 of Best Albums of 2021 video. Now at number 43 is Bad Flower with This Is How the World Ends. Now there were some songs I wasn't sure if I was going to like. Tethered was pretty good. I really liked the lyrics behind it. Josh's vocals in it is pretty good. And Don't Hate Me is one of my favorite ones. I really love that song. Family was a great song. Stalker was just fucking weird and pretty fucked up. And Everyone's an Asshole was it's your typical Bad Flower song, I guess you could say, because they make songs about just demeaning things and all that. But still, Bad Flower did a pretty good job on this album. I think Machine Gun was my favorite one, even though it made it feel like a very kind of emotional song to really get the feel for. It still did very good. And My Funeral was the final track where he says he might kill himself and all that. And he's imagining that he might kill himself or seeing what would happen if he did that. But it's kind of a little sad to think about, but still, I enjoyed this album for what it went for. She Knows was probably the least favorite of mine, and Only Love was not a bad one either. Sasshole was pretty catchy for a song. I didn't think I'd like it as much, but I'm starting to like it a lot more. But I didn't like that She Knows cuts out at the very end of the song, and it kind of bothered me with like, oh, you could have fixed that and tried to end it in a different way and made it a little longer to make the song find a good ending to the song. But still, at number 43 was Bad Flower with This Is How the World Ends. And number 42 is Whitechapel with Kin. Now, Lost Boy was one of my favorite songs from this album. Then there were some other tracks that I did enjoy from this album. Can't remember all of them because I haven't really returned to this album as much. But still, this was a pretty good album from Whitechapel. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. Sorry, my throat got congested for a moment. Yeah, Whitechapel did a pretty good job on this album. So at number 42 is Whitechapel with Kin. I would remember some of the songs, but you may have to remind me in the comment section below of this video, because I kind of tend to forget some of the songs, but I did enjoy this album for what I went for. So it made it a good spot on this list. At number 41 is a mixtape for Kenny Hoopla and Travis Barker, Survivor's Guilt, the mixtape thing that he made. It consists of 8 songs. Hollywood Sucks being my favorite one. I really like that song. I love the lyrics where Kenny Hoopla's just singing Hollywood sucks, can you please move your Prius? And all that. It's so catchy, and it's a good song to just bang your head to. It's a very enjoyable song. Definitely go check this mixtape out if you haven't heard it. Turn Back Time's one of my favorite ones. Then you have Estella, which was pretty good. The first track was really good. Sorry for the pages I write and all that lyric. I can't remember the song name, but it was a very good song. Uh, but I really enjoyed that one. And 9 to 5 was not a bad one, but not my favorite. Um, Smoke Break was an enjoyable one too, so there was a lot of good songs on this album. Maybe a few songs that I wasn't sure if I'd like, but still, this was a pretty good mixtape for what it went for. So they did a good job collabing together, Kenny Hoopla and Travis Barker did. Even though there's some things, some projects that Travis Barker's in that doesn't mix well, and then there's other things that where he does very well. And so at number 41 is Kenny Hoopla and Travis Barker with Survivor's Guilt, the mixtape. Number 40 is August Burns Red with Leveler 10th Anniversary Edition album. Now, this is just the 10th Anniversary Edition for the original album, Leveler, and I really enjoyed this album. It was very good. I don't remember all the songs from it, but I remember liking it for sure. So definitely go check out my review for it. I released it on May 21st, I think, or 22nd, I should think is when I released it, if I remember correctly. But still, at number 40 was August Burns Red with Leveler 10th Anniversary Edition. Alright, and number 39 is The Offspring with Let the Bad Times Roll. Now, I know I wasn't a huge fan of the title track. The certain lyric at the closer to the end of the song or close to the bridge of the song, I can't say the word. It's just, it really made me cringe quite a bit. And the title track has grown a little distant. I think the drum work and the guitar work's great in it. And some of Dexter's vocals is good. But This Is Not Utopia is one of my favorite songs, in my opinion. Then you have, what is it? Army of One. Breaking These Bones was very good. The one song that was on here, Coming For You, shouldn't have been on this album, which I can understand why some people get a little ticked off that it's on this album. But We Never Had Sex Anymore was not my favorite song, honestly. In the Hall of the Mountain King, they made it to the extent where it was super fast of a track for only an interlude song for only 1 minute, and I enjoyed it. It was really good. So was the Opioid Diaries, and Hassan Chop was one of my favorite ones. And the closing track was not so bad. And Gone Away, the piano version, was pretty nice. So, yeah, Behind Your Walls was a pretty good song too, so they didn't do a bad job on this album. I think the only songs I kind of disliked was We Never Had Sex Anymore and some of Let the Bad Times Roll. So those songs kind of threw me off a bit. But still, the album did pretty good. So at number 39 was The Offspring with Let the Bad Times Roll. At number 38 is George Raggin, The Dead Son with The Abyss. His debut studio album, which he's known as Johnny Three Tears from Hollywood Undead. He decided to make a solo album, and it was a really nice album. I love the last song on the album. I can't remember the name of the song, but I remember really loving it. Young Part 2 was pretty nice. War was my favorite one. W-A-R, I was saying War. That was a really nice song. It seemed very sad, honestly. The vibe I was getting from it made it feel like a sad song, but it was an enjoyable song too. Sorry if my throat is choking up for a moment. It's just my throat's congested right now. Yeah, there were times where I almost thought I was gonna cry to this album. Like, the song, Heaven Can Wait. Pretty emotional. All Gone was pretty emotional song too. And The Day I Die was pretty emotional too. There was quite emotional tracks on this album. So Waste Away was a nice song. And there were some other tracks on here that I enjoyed. So at number 38 was George Raggin, The Dead Son with The Abyss. I remember the lyric from the last song. It was called The Wretched, the Divine lyric and all that. You might know what I'm talking about if you heard this album. So definitely go check this digital album out. It's on YouTube right now. It's called The Abyss by George Raggin, The Dead Son. And it's a pretty good album. It's emotional, but it's pretty good. So, yeah. At number 37 is Man with a Mission with Breaking Across the Walls 1. Now, I really enjoyed this album. I was surprised that this was one of the weaker Man with a Mission albums. I'm surprised it even made it on this list because I thought I wasn't going to like it at first. But it's grown on me a little more after repeated listens. 86 Missed Calls is better than the Thunderstruck version that they did. The Thunderstruck version was decent, but nothing special, in my opinion. But still, Tokyo Tanaka and Gene Kenjani did a very good job at harmonizing in the anonymous song. Evergreen was pretty enjoyable. Remember Me, I really loved. What is it? Merry-Go-Round was pretty good. Then you got the first song, which is Yo Okay. That was really enjoyable, and many more tracks that are pretty enjoyable. Into the Deep, Subliminal. Can't remember the track number 8. It's a Japanese word kind of song that they sing in Japanese pretty much. They sing a little bit of English, but they majority sing in Japanese. Because they're a J-rock band, of course. If you're not familiar with Man with a Mission, definitely go check out their music. They do a phenomenal job with the genre hopping stuff they go for. They do the best they can on it. But at number 37 was Man with a Mission with Breaking Across the Walls. The title track was pretty good too. So, yeah. Number 36 is Of Mice and Men with Bloom EP. This is going to be the last one I'll talk about, and then I'll return to you for part 4 of Best Albums of 2021 video. Yeah, I really enjoyed this EP. The title track was good. Levy was a very good song, and Pulling Teeth was pretty brutal song, honestly. But it still did very good. It's only 3 songs it consists of. It is on the album Echo, which I'm going to mention that in a little bit on what I think of that album, because it is on my best albums for sure. That album Echo by Of Mice and Men. And you'll see it in a little bit on one of my part videos, part 4 or 5 video. It depends on which one it's on. But still, at number 36 was Of Mice and Men with Bloom EP. It was a pretty good listen. That's going to be it for part 3 of Best Albums of 2021 video. I do mention mixtapes and EPs. Just telling you guys that I mentioned that in this video. Maybe some compilations, as long as it does piques my interest of being good. But still, I hope you enjoyed part 3 of Best Albums of 2021 video. I will return to you in a little bit for part 4 for Best Albums of 2021 video. So stay safe, take care guys, and I'll see you in part 4 of Best Albums of 2021 video.